Hi, I'm Patrick.
And I'm Liv.
And this is the Mach-E vlog.
But this is not a Mach-E. This is a Rivian R1S, and we're going to take it for a first drive. So let's go.
We don't have much time, so we need to just jump right into this, take it for a spin. We'll explain a little bit why in the drive, and then we'll come back and wrap it up. I forgot how much fun this thing is. We've been in a Rivian R1T, but this is the first time behind the wheel of a R1S, and it's so much fun already, and we just barely left our neighborhood.
Does it feel different?
It feels a bit smaller, and then last weekend we were in a Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, so it feels like after being in that, it feels small. Not small, but it doesn't feel huge like it used to feel when I hopped into something like this.
And granted, that was a 3-row. This is a 3-row.
This is a 3-row.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah. They just have the seats down. But this feels much smaller.
Yeah, and we're going on this road that we've gone in other videos because we don't really have much time. And I just realized they're doing construction. But this is a good road because there are just a couple of curves in it, but it's also bumpy, lots of potholes. It's not the best maintained. So it gives us an opportunity to check out both. And so far it seems pretty darn smooth. And I'm playing around with the ride height. I'm just gonna put it in standard, ride feel moderate.
There's so much information and so many options. I know there's no way we can really soak this in a 20-minute drive, 10-minute drive, whatever we're gonna do. But man, every time I get in a Rivian or touch a Rivian, I'm like, I want to do this more. It's a really nice place to be. And this alone is so much information. And customization.
Two things really like about it already. Again, it's as you guys all know, it's just a premium environment. I really love this gray ash wood. And then just so much information available. It's we haven't, really done anything with the software. We literally just toss us the keys. Kyle is filming with the Leaf, by the way.
Right
I was
now.
hey, I'm gonna go film with the Leaf. You guys want to film with the Rivian? I was we never will pass up an opportunity to film with something. So,
and the last Rivian that we were in was Kyle's, his R1T. This is a loaner, but it's thanks to Kyle. So super awesome. And I think they should buy one. I think we should all tell them to get one of these, an R1S.
Get the R1S. I think he
for
wants
the doggies.
Maybe the refresh. This is the original. It is not the refresh. Man, this is a lot of construction traffic.
Yeah,
they're building a bunch of homes and condos out here.
We didn't expose you guys to the previous traffic where we were stopped in the middle of a major road, so we didn't think this would happen again. But at least we get a quiet moment to chat. But yeah, the build quality is bar none. Like Patrick said, the wood, the burnt-in logo, the brushed aluminum, it's just so good. And this is leather, right?
Yeah. Or is it pleather? Not pleather,
I know,
but vegan leather,
fake
as I say
leather.
it now.
Do we not say pleather?
I love the driver's screen, of course. Just really nice. It's at 76% and 305 miles of range.
That is insane.
That's so cool.
That is very insane.
It's just, I forgot how nice these are. And like I said, we were in a Mazda CX-90 plug-in hybrid, which of course costs quite a bit less than this, but man.
And I am remembering, so when we had the R1T, Kyle's R1T, things that bugged me, because we spent a whole weekend with it, whole weekend, I say that it's long, but really would love to spend more time. There's only 2 cup holders. I always tend to have many beverages.
And I see they got water bottles stuffed. There's, by the way, they have the Tesla adapter here. So nice to see Rivian is also on board and already getting adapters out to people. So they are going to road trip this back to Colorado with the Tesla supercharger network. So I think that'll be an interesting thing. We may try and make that same trip very shortly if we can. We'll see timing wise. But back to the Rivian.
Back to the Rivian. Love the
motor temperature.
Ooh. We were both leaning our arms. I love the split. I really like the split. So like we can have one open or the other. It does open both.
But that's
not one at a time.
Can you do one without the other?
I don't think so.
No.
That's unfortunate. The Mazda was split, but you could open one side, not the other.
All right, this is getting ridiculous.
I
Okay,
know,
let's pause for
crazy.
a second while we're waiting. It was actually, as soon as I said we're going to pause, all of a sudden.
That's how you make it happen.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're curious, this is a road that potentially the most recent video we released that we were on it is the Fiat 500e. So if you want to see something completely different on the same road, obviously we did not have to stop in traffic that time, but so far this is really obviously excelling.
So fun for a first drive.
I know, it's so fun. Traffic.
And I was trying to let them get ahead so I can have a little bit of fun, but oh well, that's how it goes sometimes, filming in the middle of the day on a Thursday.
So it was fun talking to Alyssa and hearing like what she's looking for in a car, because the R1S is kind of exactly perfect for that. This is something she was mentioning, and I'm sure they'll make tons of content about this, but like they can go camping and then keep the dogs in the back here in a temperature controlled environment, and they can be in the pop-up.
You can't see it, but it's a stretch Hummer
tiger limo.
Tiger limo. It's like tiger stripes on it with the
I've
tiger
never
face.
seen anything like that. That was really trippy. I didn't even get my phone out enough for B-roll.
We might turn around and come back. No,
Okay.
I don't want to go through the traffic.
I know. That was really interesting. Maybe we'll Google it and we'll see if we have a photo. But anyway, so like the R1S provides a perfect opportunity for a securable rear space, right? So if you have the R1T, you can now have the full capacity of the R1S. You can have the 3 rows if you need them, air vents in the back, all of that. Like this is so functional. And I love seeing the Rivian build quality everywhere, like in the covers of the power ports and in the, what are they called? The hooks, the pop-up, there's a word.
I don't know.
Whatever. The pop-up clips in the rear, if we remember, we'll try to get B-roll, but just everything is just beautifully created, beautifully designed. And the fact that like those hooks look identical to the key fob. Where's the key fob?
I think it's in my pocket.
That's all right. I love the key fob. I love the sounds of the Rivian, like the indicator button, like water dropping on a piece of wood. Is that what they said it was going to be?
Yeah.
It's like water droplets, everything nature, and it's just so good. Their branding, their materials. Are you having fun? Because you're kind of a little faster.
No, I keep speeding up and slowing down and just sort of seeing how the pedal feels. Steering feels really nice and precise for a vehicle this big, because like in the Lightning or just generally big pickup trucks, it feels like you're sort of aiming versus steering. This feels very precise, and I don't like. I was thinking about putting it in sport mode, but I was like, we're not really gonna have.
What mode are we in?
Just standard. Everything's standard.
Oh, okay. I love how much flexibility you have to customize ride height, brake regen, stability, ride feel. I would turn brake regen all the way down. It doesn't have a 0, does it?
No, it does not.
Bummer for people like me who don't like one pedal.
And then that was pretty much it, because we get here and then we have to watch out because a lot of times there's people stopped around the corner. But yeah, I know they're making a lot of improvements to the software as well. I don't think they had this screen the last time that we were in it, but it's like there's just so much information. I can see the angle that the wheels are at, tire pressure, which is pretty standard, compass, motor temperatures. So front motor, rear motor, 111, 100 degrees, and that's really on the low end.
Is it?
Battery temperature, 82 degrees. I think it's about 70 something today.
Oh, wow, yeah. That is helpful because we use car scanner on the Mach-E if we want to see the battery temperature, which has been really helpful. If you're curious about that, we have a video where the battery overheated.
Yeah. It was a software glitch where it basically just didn't cool. Yeah, this is where it always
and I
might just go
slows
right.
down all of a sudden. Is right where all the bolts are?
No, but we can go buy the bolts real quick.
Go buy the bolts. There's a Domino's nearby that has pretty much all the bolts and Domino's.
I think we've seen like 14 of them there.
They're so cute. I wish they'd just lend us one. We could just take care of it. I'll drop off pizzas
Let's get
occasionally.
Up to speed quickly now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was such a nice motor sound.
And I just realized I need to be closer. I couldn't even get fully hauled away. I was sort of like tiptoe.
Kyle was a little tall.
Problems.
Yeah. So, interestingly, Kyle and Alyssa are giants. We are the opposite. This car is good for both. Like, you know, some vehicles, I feel like it's a little bit more in the opposite, that it feels like it's like the Fiat 500e. I feel like I would laugh if I saw Kyle drive it. Although he drives the Twizy, but like, I just think tall people must have a harder time in smaller vehicles. But this doesn't feel like it's too big or too small. Like, you don't look too short, and he doesn't look too tall in it.
And we were in the Lightning, and I felt like that was really big.
The Lightning does feel very big, yeah.
This feels not bad at all. And like comparing it to our Mach-E, it doesn't feel like huge. I do realize I got a lot more stuff behind me in this one.
That you're not looking at. Yeah.
And we are quite a bit higher.
Oh, right. What ride height? I think we're all the way up.
No, we're standard.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I mean,
what is standard?
We could go to high.
10 inches? Oh, so weird.
It's so weird to do it.
If you couldn't tell, that was lifting up.
Let's just go back to standard.
And what was it, like 2 years ago when we borrowed the R1T, we have a video showing the full raising and lowering, if you're interested. Have they upgraded the compressor for that? Raising and lowering?
I don't know. I don't know I haven't seen all the details. Kyle's video was 2 hours, so.
Oh, right. The Rivian community out here is really, really cool. We were able to meet a bunch of them when we went out to the R2 and surprise R3 reveal a couple months ago in Laguna Beach. And there were a bunch of the SoCal Rivian Club people there. Chatty, the SoCal Rivian Club president, that's actually her name. And yes, she is. It's such a great community, and like the Rivian vibe. That was a good sound. What are you doing?
I was trying out the cruise control.
How is it?
I didn't read all the details. It's not labeled on the steering wheel, so it's not actually. I got cruise control on, but it's not the full driver's assistance package. This is literally us, like I said,
first drive,
getting tossed the keys. I don't want to adjust too much.
Well, that's why we have too many playlists on our channel. We need to organize them a little better. But we have a first drive playlist, and we have a vehicle review. And we like to do the vehicle reviews when we've at least gotten like a good chunk of time. But sometimes you only get 20 minutes. You might be able to drive someone's car, or in this situation, drive a borrowed vehicle for just like 20 minutes, and we want to be able to share that with you, but we're obviously like going at 100% blind because it's like a cool opportunity. Here you go. Hence Patrick doesn't know what's going on.
What am I doing here?
But the Rivian community seems really, really cool. Would love to hear from you what the Rivian community by you is like. Dang, it's got power.
It has power.
It has power. It has really good feeling suspension too, because like I feel it's sort of cruising over bumps, but it's well cushioned.
Yeah, it's just driving really well. Their driving dynamics with the steering, I think that's what surprised me last time, and still surprising this time, is how precise the steering is. And then the suspension is sort of like knowing that like I'm in just standard mode, but I could lower it down and get into a even more sporty stance. And I just hit sport mode, which I don't think I want to do.
I know, now we're in like the most traffic-y part.
Yeah, we don't need sport mode for this, but
it would like being in a Rivian, I feel like it's sort of like being in a rally. Like, what are we doing on the road?
Yeah,
like drive over there's a park. Okay, let's go like up the hill.
We'll go all purpose, standard height.
I don't think we'll ever forget that we were at a car, like it was a local festival, and we all took our EVs for people to look at, and it was one of the early Rivians. There was a person there with it, and we all had to like carefully drive up the path and then like pull our cars in by the hill, and then the Rivian was just like, I'm ready to leave, and they just like backed up the hill, like literally. They were like, you can't leave. They're like,
and yeah,
exited.
Now, one interesting thing that I was just thinking about, because we were like in that Mazda, which of course costs quite a bit less, but something that would be interesting to consider is like a used R1S. Like, what does that go for, and would that be interesting and tempting for people? Because the refreshed R1S is going to be coming out soon, and of course that costs a bit more than like the EV9 or the Mazda plug-in hybrid. But what about a used one?
I'm looking.
Yeah.
I know. 60.
60.
Oh wait, that's an R1T 71.
71.
Wait,
okay.
this is 2023, 31,000 miles. It's an Escondido.
Interesting.
I mean, well, depending on the spec and all, that's like 30,000 less, right?
Then
Potentially.
the new one?
Yeah.
Like a new one? Yeah, I haven't looked at the prices lately.
It looks like mid 70s for used, and I think it's 100 for new.
Depending on the specs. They have dual motor, tri-motor,
58.
quad motor.
Whoa, 59 for a blue R1T.
Or do they have the quad? Or do they have the 3? I can't remember now. I need to watch the video.
I know, we need all 2 hours of it. Man, I'm shopping now. I'm personally an R1 tier. I like trucks.
And yeah, I do like trucks, and I really like the functionality of the Lightning. But this still feels a bit like a car.
And their materials and their design is on point. Oh yeah, their tagline, adventurous forever. So that's like, we'll do a little B-roll. Was that in the R1T as well? It's like embedded in the dash, adventurous forever. Everything is so gorgeous, and their orange accents and everything. It just feels so good.
I like their paint colors. This is LA Silver, which isn't exciting for somebody that has a grabber blue penchant.
Here's a weird thing about the LA Silver.
I really like the LA Silver color. It's, I think maybe because, and I've thought about this like with Lightning, Cybertruck, those type of things. I sort of like truck, and this isn't really a truck, but bigger SUV. I like it a more boring color.
Because it's so
car,
big?
Bright. I don't know. Maybe it's just the functionality of
the Mach-E is an SUV.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also it's like kapow. It's got, are they racing?
No.
Okay. The Mach-E is curvaceous. It wants people to look at it. The Lightning doesn't want to be looked at like that. It's not inviting stares.
Right.
The Mach-E is like, look at me. The Lightning and Grab a Blue would be hysterical. Wouldn't that be funny?
It would
or
be.
Cyber Orange.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to be looked at. The Rivian wants to be looked at. Yeah, Rivian like wants the attention. I could see Grabber Blue, Cyber Orange, Rivian. Cyber Orange Rivian would be actually really good.
Yeah,
with the
looking to see. We're going to go
Hungry
by.
Hippo.
I don't know why we're going by the bolts, because it's not like you're going to be able to see them.
Oh, and that was barely even a suggestion. I'm just really excited, and this is our lunch break from work, and literally Kyle and Alyssa were like, we're coming over to get the Leaf, but they couldn't get the Leaf used, so they're just filming with it, but we get to film with this, which is amazing. Cool. Hey, let's go.
Where are we going?
Woo. Starbucks, of course.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we'll just head back. And
Okay.
quick first drive. Yeah, I really like it. It does, for whatever reason, I think it's just like maybe optical illusion a little bit, but I always felt like the R1S looked bigger
Yep.
than the R1T, but it's actually a bit shorter. So it feels like, it makes it like making corners and maneuvering in a parking lot. I think it feels a lot better. So that's very interesting to me. And I don't know. It's like we hop into a lot of EVs, and this one is sort of like, God, I wouldn't mind having this.
Oh, for sure.
What is interesting to me is like hopping into a lot of these EVs. There's always like compromises or whatever. Whether it's premium versus sporty versus utility. And I think that's what Rivian has done such a good job, is like it feels premium, it feels sporty. There's still a lot of utilitarian purpose out of it. So it's really an impressive combination. And like when we were in the Mazda, I was like, there's a bunch of compromises. Like it's not great as a EV, it's not great as just a 4-cylinder, compromising on your environmental friendliness. This feels like it's not compromising.
They've updated the software, right? Software
is constantly getting updates.
Yeah. So from when we used it 2 years ago, it's definitely, I think it's smoother and faster and like a little bit more.
I think some of the icons are a little bit bigger, maybe.
Yeah.
So minor tweaks.
A little more visual or visible.
And then I think we can switch to satellite mode. So
that was a speedy switch to something really information dense.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We can go back now and
wrap it up. Yeah.
And I know this is just a short drive. I would love to take one of these on a road trip, but that's not in the cards. But if you want to find that, Kyle and Alyssa are taking this back to Colorado. I don't know if they're going to vlog it.
And if you want, I'm sure they will, probably on Out of Spec Motoring. If you want our old content with the R1T, we actually have 2 vlog videos. And trust me, I deeply want the R3X. So maybe one day we will be Rivian people, because like, that just looks like the coolest car ever.
And I think that's an interesting thing too about Rivian, is about any car, is like, some cars I think you just buy and you use it, but I think I'll cut through here. There's a Lightning. It's like a work truck too. Like, do you feel like you're buying into the car culture when you buy that brand? So I think like with Tesla, it's like you're buying into the Tesla culture. Maybe it is with some of the other EVs. I don't know if there's like a huge like car culture behind say like the EV6.
Oh, I bet. But like there's definitely a Rivian culture. Well, that was it. That was our time in the Rivian R1S. So cool that we got to have a first drive in the R1S. Pretty crazy we haven't at all. Like, it's our first R1S.
It was just like a test drive. I think we need to go and schedule like a test drive and see if we can get it for a little bit longer.
Yeah, for sure.
Or find a friend that has one that lives nearby, not in Colorado, that we could have it for like a day. Really just like it. I like the whole Rivian vibe. We went to the launch of the Rivian R2/R3, R3X. And we were talking to Kyle, and we've talked to other people. It's like the vibe around Rivian is just really nice. The owner community is really welcoming. What is it?
Their tagline, I don't know. I was just looking at it. Adventurous forever. It's like they really embody the whole vibe, outdoorsy capabilities, just a vehicle that like fits in with your life and like accentuates the things that you want to do. It really makes me want one. Yeah.
And
lifestyle wise.
The refresh, when I first saw the refresh and saw the leaks coming out, I was like, wow, that's really sort of disappointing that they haven't refreshed it that much. But looking at all the technical details or hearing about the technical details, it sounds like it's like such an engineering refresh. It's really neat. And it's sort of like they didn't mess around with the styling, and even the R2 looks a lot like the R1. So I like their styling and where it's at, and the fact that they're putting such a focus on better EV motors, better EV technology, software handling, all of that. I got distracted because somebody has like a
giant ring light,
a vlogging ring light. It's one of our neighbors. Like, are they a YouTuber?
We don't normally do this much filming like right in our neighborhood. It feels a little like we're being obnoxious, but of course we have this amazing opportunity to have this R1S, so we're doing it. But if they have a ring light, maybe they're like, whatevs.
Yes.
Making content.
So yeah, it's just really neat to see where Rivian is going with their refresh, and then the future lineup with the R2, R3. I think we're really geared toward, like, we like the R3 size the most. The R2 is slightly smaller, and there's one of those bolts that I was talking about. Just drove by.
Which you can't see.
The Dominus bolts. So I think we'll hold off. I don't think we will necessarily go with the R1.
We have an R2 reservation, but I want the R3. I love it. I love it so much. I want it. I hope they make it.
In that green that matches your hair.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, it's just really, I'm really hoping that, Rivian survives. They seem to be doing pretty well, but it's always they're losing money as they're ramping up production. And will they ramp up production enough before they run out of money? Which isn't going to happen in like a couple of weeks. We're talking about 2-3 years down the road. And, it's very difficult for any EV startup. And Rivian also has, of course, the business side. They're doing very well with the Rivian delivery vehicles that Amazon uses that now other companies can also buy as well.
They have the Rivian Adventure Network.
The charging network.
Yeah.
And they're going to continue expanding the charging network. They're going to open it up to non-Rivians later this year, which is,
Yay.
I think they should have started with that, but I understand their reasoning. I just don't like anything locked into one brand. They're now can charge on the Tesla supercharger network. They're also doing like Ford and Rivian said from like day one, we're going to send out the adapters and they're going to be free. So kudos to them for just doing that like from the get-go and being very clear about it, because there was some disagreement, although Jim Farley said from day one they were going to always ship them for free. There was it was unclear for a little while whether Ford was going to do that, but Rivian was like, yes, it's going to be free. We're going to ship them out. And I sort of like the way they're doing their ordering system is like basically the longer you've owned a Rivian, the earlier you will get your adapter. So it's like rewarding people that have been there for a while to get their adapter. So that's really neat. Yeah,
and we've heard a lot of people who, Ford EV owners who wish that was the situation with the Ford EVs. We tried to give everyone a shout out the moment that we were allowed to. We knew when the adapters were going to be available for reservation. We could not reserve them sooner, but we knew the time. So as soon as the time became available, we immediately let everyone know on blast. So everyone that we notified was able to get their reservation in early. We hear from a bunch of you guys, like Lori just got your adapter right now, so that's great. But we know a lot of people who were not able to do so. And also it was like 4:30 in the morning, 5 a.m. in West Coast. So
there's still a lot of unknowns coming with the R2. And R3, like where the charge port location is going to be. So there's still some questions about where that stuff is going. But if you are, in the market for a Rivian right now or a 3-row SUV, this is such a great option that we highly encourage you to consider it. If the price is a bit steep, look at the used ones. Like I said, $71,000 for this, like an R1S. So there are some options out there. And if it's still too big of a budget issue, hopefully we get to check out a Kia EV9 if you need a 3-row SUV. If you want a more utilitarian, just regular old truck, F-150 Lightning.
How much is EV9?
EV9, I think, around 60s, like it's in the 60s. I think you can get some good deals on them. There's some really good leasing deals. There's some really good leasing deals with Rivian right now.
I really like both what Kia and Rivian are doing design-wise, like the materials, the build quality. Yeah. So it's great to have options. I'm really psyched.
And we keep on, we mentioned leasing deals. I've never leased a vehicle. I've always been like, let me buy it and own it for 10 years. But with EVs, I think it's, especially with the way the federal tax credit works and just the deals that are out there for leasing, if you never leased, I think now is the time to at least maybe consider it. It might be a great opportunity to get into something that's seems way pricey, but with the leasing deals, it's pretty good. Rivian's a good example. I think there's some that are like in $600-700 range for the lower end Rivians, which is a fantastic deal for what you're getting. And if you try to purchase it, you're probably talking about like a $900, $1,000 plus car payment. So consider leasing, and it also protects you. So like if they are going to refresh and you lose a lot of value or anything like that, that's sort of the plus side about leasing. I've never been an advocate for leasing, but now at least look into the numbers and see if it works better for you. You never know. We did a Ford options on our Mach-E, which isn't a lease, but it's like a lease because we have like lower payments, and then we have a balloon payment, but we also have a guaranteed repurchase price. So it sounds like basically just like a lease, except it's a car payment.
Yeah, which,
loan.
like you said, is great protection right now, considering how the market is changing. You sold me. I think I want to lease something.
We can go look. Maybe finish repairing the house.
Yeah.
we had a
Finish
flood.
that.
There's a whole video on it, but
Yeah, if you're curious.
we're still working on getting the house repaired. But anyways, we're going to go in. Kyle actually got back just after we got back. He's inside. He's editing the video on the Leaf. He's going to upload it. So
I can't wait to see it.
it's going to be up like live today, and we're like, well, we're behind. We have like 12 videos to edit.
Way more. But we had a great time owning the Leaf. If you're curious, we're going to have a video out there. We had a great time borrowing the Leaf. But if you're curious, we're going to have a video out on our time with the Leaf, saying farewell to the Leaf. And it was great. And it's much, much cheaper than this. So you know what? If this is not your thing, if you can't afford it, if it's not what you're looking for, look into the used EV tax credit. Consider picking up something like a used Leaf. You will have a great smile on your face. Kyle hopped out, and what did he say? Like, great times or something. Like, he was smiling.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. And it's really nice to be mobile, have something that you can charge at home if you have the ability to do so, or just like not be gas dependent, and for far less than this. Love this though, but maybe there's a used EV in our future. Maybe there's a used Rivian in your future. I don't know. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us for the super sudden, haphazard video where we drove the R1S for the first time, drove a Rivian for the first time in like 2 years. Huge thank you to our patrons whose names are scrolling across the screen right now. We deeply appreciate every single one of you. And a thank you to our YouTube members. You know them by the little lightning bolt next to their name. You guys are so awesome. And just remember that whatever you drive, whether it's an R1S, an R1T, or an R3, I wish. Enjoy the ride. Bye.